You have to be blind not to see the shirk. Blind not to see the shirk. When Europe embraced this new model of the state built on shirk, this new Europe now sent its spies. Last night we had just us. Spies infiltrated Istanbul. Spies infiltrated the Ottoman Islamic army and brainwashed some of the officers. And these officers were now secularized. And they became known as the Young Turks. And they began to attack the Ottoman Khilafah from inside. At the head of that was Mustafa Kemal. Mustafa Kemal. In order to be able to destroy the Khilafah, they not only had to attack the Ottoman Khilafah in Istanbul through the Young Turks, they had to do something else. It was a multi-pronged attack. In order for a Khalifa to be Khalifa, he must control the Hajj. He must control Mecca. Can you imagine? What's his name, the fellow in Afghanistan? Mullah Omar? The head of the Taliban. Suppose Mullah Omar declares, I am the Khalifa now. And the people of Afghanistan give the bay'ah to Mullah Omar. And then Muslims in Pakistan say, okay, we also give bay'ah. Some Muslims in Brooklyn say, okay, we're going to also give bay'ah. He is the Khalifa now. Khilafah is restored. Okay, alright. Then Mullah Omar wants to go perform the Hajj. He has to apply for Saudi visa. Imagine that. You are Khalifa and you have to apply for Saudi visa to perform the Hajj. That is not Khilafah, that's a joke. That's a joke, that's not Khilafah. And yet there are some serious scholars of Islam who are saying yes, he should declare himself Khalifa and we should all give the bay'ah to him. So in order for the Khalifa to be Khalifa, among other things, he must control the Hajj. He must control the Hijaz. And so the British decided to attack the Hijaz in order to rob the Khalifa of his control over the Hijaz. And the British used Jassas, the spy. Amongst them, the most infamous was a man named Lawrence of Arabia. Jassas, you remember the hadith from last night? Good. Lawrence of Arabia learned the Arabic language, dressed as an Arab, infiltrated into Arabia, went to Abdulaziz ibn Saud and went to Sharif al-Hussein. Sharif al-Hussein was the Sharif of Mecca, appointed by the Khalifa, the great-great-grandfather of the present king of Jordan. And when he went to Sharif al-Hussein, he made promises. He said, if you would rebel against the Khalifa, we would make you the king of the Arabs. And if you would rebel against the Khalifa, here's my checkbook, £7 million sterling. And guess what the Sharif did? Yes, he accepted the £7 million sterling. He accepted the offer, the promise that he would be the king of the Arabs. And then he rebelled against the Khalifa. And the Khalifa lost control of the Hijaz, of Mecca. Something strange, that the Ottoman Khalifa used a Turkish garrison, Turkish troops, to defend Medina. Medina was defended by Turkish troops. And Jerusalem was also defended by Turkish troops. But Mecca was entirely defended by Arab troops. So there were no Turks there. And so Sheikh Imran Hosein was able very easily to rebel against the Khalifa. And so Mecca is lost. Khalifa has lost the control over the Hajj. Medina is still under the control of the Khalifa, and Jerusalem is still under the control of the Khalifa. But once Mecca was lost and the Hajj was lost, now the Khalifa, in the eyes of the world of Islam, is losing his legitimacy. And then the British and the French and the Germans and so on, they launched the First World War. The Khalifa did not want to enter into the First World War. But through internal conspiracy involving the Young Turks, the Ottoman Empire was pushed into the war on the side of Germany. So now the British army has an excuse to attack. The French army has an excuse to attack. The Italian army has an excuse to attack. And the Ottoman Islamic Empire lose all their territories in Europe. All. And now the attack is in the Arab world. But the most ominous attack of all was the army led by the General Allenby, the British general. And that army is heading for Jerusalem. And it is 1919. And there are Arab troops fighting in that army under the British general. And there are Indian Muslims from the Punjab fighting in that army under the British general. And in 1919 they defeat the Turkish army. And Jerusalem is conquered. With the loss of Jerusalem and the loss of Mecca, and then subsequently the loss of Medina, the Ottoman Khalifa is demoralized. The Greek army now crosses the Bosphorus and attacks Turkey itself, the Turkish homeland. And the Greek army threatens to take control and colonize the Turkish homeland, where the Turkish language is spoken. And so it appeared as though everything was lost. Not only has the Ottoman Empire lost its European possessions, not only has it lost its possessions in the Arabic-speaking world, but now it is also losing the Turkish homeland. It was at this time that something very strange happened. Very strange. If you'll allow me to express it this way, the British allowed Mustafa Kemal to defeat them at a place called Gallipoli. And when the British army was defeated at Gallipoli, that news was like electricity running through the veins of the whole Turkish people. Now there is hope, where formerly there was only darkness. Even though Mustafa Kemal drinks whiskey, even though Mustafa Kemal doesn't perform salat, he doesn't know Islam, he doesn't live Islam. Yesterday, such a man, we would have thrown him in the garbage bin. But now, today, since he has defeated the British, now there's a ray of hope that the Turkish homeland can be saved. So now you embrace a man who doesn't know Islam, who doesn't live Islam. See how Dajjal is very cunning? The Khalifa is forced to appoint Mustafa Kemal as supreme commander of all the Turkish forces fighting the Greeks. And then Mustafa Kemal wins victory after victory until he throws the Greek army out. And now he becomes such a hero that the Turkish people worship him. They worship him. 70 years have passed. They still worship him. Huh? This is psychological warfare at its very best. They did the same thing in Egypt with Gamal Abdel Nasser. They did the same thing in Indonesia with Ahmad Sukarno. They did the same thing in so many countries to brainwash the people, to accept leaders who didn't know Islam and who didn't live Islam and who now became national heroes. The Khalifa is now a prisoner, so to say, of Mustafa Kemal. He's in charge.